What's up, everyone? Welcome to our live for the week. We have some great topics today. It is always a pleasure for us to be able to get on and do this and share with you guys. For those of you that have tuned in, let us know if you have any topics that you would like us to discuss. A lot of these questions that we end up coming up with are things that people have asked us for the week, and we thought they were really interesting. And so we're always looking for feedback and would love to hear from you and the challenges, the victories, and the things that you would like to work on. So we'll jump right into it. How are you today, Jen?
I'm doing great. It's been a great morning, and now on with you for our weekly live session. So this week we are going to be talking a lot about goals. So the first question we have is, what is your formula for setting goals? How do you set goals and achieve them?
Yeah, so setting goals is hard. I mean, it's a thing that such few people do because it seems real simple. It's like, all right, just write down what you want. And then people have a hard time because they're like, I don't know what I want. I don't really know the how to go about writing goals. I don't really know. I don't want to set myself in this box where I'm limiting myself to this one thing and this is all I can have. And other things might come up that are more important. And so a lot of people just end up going along with the flow. And it's really like being in a rudderless ship. So you're just kind of at the whim of the waves that are coming in, as opposed to having a clear direction. And it's okay for that direction to change. You might go in a certain direction and realize you don't like that direction. You want to go in another direction. But as long as you're spinning around in circles or the waves are just kind of washing you around like a washing machine, then you're not really going to go anywhere. So it helps to set goals, decide what you want. It doesn't matter what it is, but decide what you want and then start taking action to go in that direction, and then constantly evaluate what it is that you want and if that's truly what you want, or do you want to change that to move forward.
That's a good idea too, because I remember just looking back when we actually set our goal settings before the beginning of 2022 is you asked me to divide the areas in my life that I want to focus on for the year, and then what do I want to achieve in those different areas in your life, in my life. So I think starting from there, like divide the areas in your life that you think you need to improve on, and then what you want to achieve in those different areas, and then from there you can then write down the things that you need to do to achieve those goals. So what do you think are the areas that you should be focusing on when setting your goals?
Yeah, so I like to split it up into 7 areas. There's different formulas. Some people divide it into 5, some people divide it into 7, some people I've even done programs where you've done 12 different areas. I think that could be a little bit overwhelming to do 12. The 7 makes the most sense to me. And what I look at is number 1, or what are my physical goals? So those are things like body composition, strength, health and wellness, nutrition. So those are all that's all the physical goals. The health and wellness are physical goals. And then the second one would be the emotional goals. So those are things like meditation, spirituality, prayer, books that you're going to be reading on that subject. Maybe it's starting with a therapist or working with a counseling group. The next area would be your mental goals, and so that's what areas do you want to learn, or what areas do you want to grow. So books, courses. Like for me, for example, one of the big goals that I had was I wanted to do a tactical course. I wanted to learn self-defense and tactical training. And so part of that is mental, or part of it's going to be one of the last goals, which we look at, which is play. But that's a learning goal. New books that I'm reading, or podcasts that I'm listening to, or areas that I want to grow and learn from, that would be mental. Then the next category you're looking at is going to be professional. So your professional goals are going to be things relating to your career. Then you're going to have your prosperity goals. So those are going to be like your financial goals: saving, investing, managing money. Who do you need to hire? What course do you need to take to learn that area? And then you're going to look at your play goals. And so your play goals are your fun stuff. Those are date nights, it's traveling, it's things that you want to buy, it's hobbies that you want to take up, it's things that you're going to do that are really fun. And then the last category, the seventh category, is going to be your social goals, which has to do with building relationships, whether it's family, friends, and what types of things are you going to do, starting a group, getting out in the community, being a part of a new gym, a new club, a new sport that you can improve or increase your social circle. So those are the 7 main areas that we look at. And when you look at goals, a lot of people focus on the goal. The magic does not happen from the goal. The magic comes from the pursuit of that goal. And so an example would be let's say for me, one of my goals, my physical goals, is I want to be able to do 100 push-ups without stopping, like that, straight through 100 push-ups. I couldn't even come close to that. I never trained on something like that. I did lots of push-ups, but it was all short sets. So I decided I want to be able to do 100 push-ups. And so the maximum that I could do was between 40 and 50 at a time without taking a break. And so what I said to myself was, I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 100 push-ups every single morning, and anywhere between 100 and 200 every single morning. And then every month, I'm going to try to increase the amount I can do in one set. And so it's been about 6 weeks or so. I've been doing push-ups every single morning, unless I feel like it's going to hurt me. Like there have been a few days where I'm just so sore and beat up. I'm like, this is not going to be good for me. But at least 5 or 6 days out of the week, I'm doing between 100 and 200 push-ups in the morning. And I've gotten to a point where now I can do 60. And so it's grown a little bit. The magic didn't come from setting a goal of 100. The magic comes from setting a habit and a ritual to do it every single day and making sure that I'm building that habit, and that's going to ensure I get the results. One more quick example. Another one is I really wanted to work on my breath hold. I did a free diving course years ago in Thailand, and by the end of the week, I was able to do a 3.5-minute breath hold underwater. And then I just got out of it. I stopped working on my breath hold work, and I really wanted to get back to it again, because building up your CO2 tolerance and increasing your breath hold time has really cool health benefits from it. Now, you want to be careful. You don't want to practice breath holding in water, and you want to make sure that you're doing it safe. At least you don't want to do it in water alone. You want to make sure that you're closely supervised. And so I said, well, I really wanted to beat that. I want to get to a point where I can hold my breath for over 4 minutes. And so I could set the goal, but if I don't have a clear action plan towards reaching that goal, something that's going to be a habit, it's never going to happen. So what I did was I downloaded an apnea app. It's an app for working on breathing exercises. You set a timer and you take a test to see how long you could hold your breath for. And then they give you a table that you practice at least 3 times a week, but up to every single day. And you practice that table. And as it becomes easier, once a month or so, you retest your breath hold time, and it should go up. And then the table is going to increase more and more, so it goes harder and harder. So since the beginning of the year, just about every single morning, I can't say every, I'm not perfect. So 5-6 days a week, I'm doing 15 minutes of breath hold work in the morning, every single morning. And I've noticed an improvement in my health. I've noticed an improvement in my energy. And I've noticed that I'm able to hold my breath a little longer than when I started. And so it's great to set a goal, but really the goal should motivate you to build the habit that's going to create the success and the growth in your life that you would like to achieve.
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, you're right. What I have been doing too since we set our goals is, you taught me this too, is to reverse engineer it instead of like focusing on the number, because it may seem daunting. For example, for me, I want to get up to 80 push-ups a day, but I don't have much time in a day since I am working. So what are the steps that I need to do to achieve that, and break that into small pieces in order for me to achieve it? So it is more attainable that way. It doesn't look and feel as daunting for me. And I learned that from you when we were setting our goals too, is what are the habits that you should be establishing for you to achieve those goals, and then how are you going to break down each tasks for the day in order for you to achieve those goals eventually. So that actually leads us to the third question, which is this is a lot of I don't know if you can call it an excuse, but sometimes it is one of the reasons is time. For example, one of my goals for myself is exercising more regularly. But since we have limited time in a day, how should we exercise or put together a workout for the day if we have limited time?
Yeah, part of it is just incorporating it, bringing other people and engaging other people and having accountability when it comes to setting these goals. So like, doing meetings while you're on a hike, or if you're on a conference call, doing push-ups or squats or sit-ups while you're on a conference call if you don't need to be talking. Or I know one of the things that Jen has been doing is these little micro workouts where like throughout the day, she might not do a formal workout at the gym for the day, but she might finish the day with like 200 squats and 100 push-ups and a bunch of stuff, because every time she gets 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 2 minutes there, she's doing a set, and it ends up building up into a lot more than most people would normally do if they set designated time to do a workout. And so we all have more time certain days than other days. So like on a day for that, if you're going to be in the office and it's going to be a full day, like let's say if people are working and you have families, so you're getting up early, you're working all day, and then you're coming home and it's late at night, and that's happening Monday through Friday. It might be difficult to get a big workout in during the week, but if you just took 5 minutes in the morning and did as many push-ups and squats back and forth as you could do in 5 minutes, everybody has 5 minutes. And then you take more time to walk, or after dinner as a family, you go for a 10-minute walk or a 15-minute walk around the block. If you build in enough of those, like that's how you get 10,000 steps in a day. 10,000 steps is the equivalent of like 5 miles, where if you try to do 5 miles at one time, it's really difficult. But if you get up every opportunity you have and you walk around for 3 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 4 minutes there, it adds up to huge improvements over time. And so that's number one, is in involving other people to be a part of it with you and stacking different healthy behaviors together. The other thing, which I think we could probably close with, is one of the things that Jen and I have done that has been really helpful. And if you read the email, we're not perfect at it, but we've improved, which is a relationship meeting. And the goal is to do it every single week. And we do go through periods of time where we let it kind of fall by the wayside, but we always get back to it. We've been doing it for years. And what we do is we always start off with, in the beginning, what are you grateful for? A lot of the times it has to do with each other or just about our lives in general. What are we grateful for? So we start with something positive, and at least one or two of them has to include about the other person. And then we take the 7 domains of our life and we go back to, it all starts with our original goals that we set. And then what we do is we take each of those areas and we're like, all right, what do we need to accomplish that week? So an example would be, if I want to read, which I do, 26 books a year. So I want to read at least 2 books on personal development or growth every single month. Then each week I need to read at least half of a book, at least. And so each week when we go through our 7 domains of our life and what are the goals. So mental, I'll have a book on there to read, and I got to read it within the next 2 weeks. And so we recap. All right, did you read as much as you wanted to last week? Yeah, I got to it. It was great. Okay, what do you want to do for the next week? Oh, I want to start on this next book and read half of this next book. Or it might be, no, I was really lazy with reading. I only read like 5 pages all week. And it's like, all right, then you better catch up this week. Next week, I'm going to prioritize reading maybe over some other things in order to keep the momentum moving forward. So in this weekly relationship meeting, you always go back to the previous week, what you accomplished, what you would like to accomplish. And then you go to the next week. What are you committing to working on for the next week? And having that partner, whether it's your spouse, significant other, or a friend, but having that accountability partner is a major, major key for success when it comes to goal setting. And more importantly, not goal setting, but goal achieving.
Yeah, I think that tied that up very perfectly. So, so we'll be back next week for you guys. If you have any other topics you would like for us to discuss, just post them below, message us, and we'll make sure to talk about that next week.
Yeah, let us know what you learned from this too and how it's going. We'd love to hear from you, and anything we can do to support you, we would be more than happy to help. So take care, guys. We'll see you soon.